Oh, it's that time again, ladies and gentlemen. It's time for VFL. And it's time to take a look back first at what happened in week number 3 before we get to week 4. And week number 3 went pretty well for me because I finished 16th in week 3. And overall, what that means is, in event total, I'm 18th. I'm 18th out of everybody right now. So well done if you're doing better than me. There are a couple of you doing the same as me. So congratulations to those people. Warlord Wibbs, one of my mods, I'm coming for you, and I'm coming for you, LeBon John, if you're watching this, who's first in the world right now. So yeah, last week obviously went very well for my team. Here is my team. This is what it's currently looking like, and it went, yeah, very, very well. So, and going forward, actually, my problem for this week is it's actually kind of difficult to know who exactly to get rid of, because for the most part, the games don't look too bad. Before we dive into my team, though, let me first talk about kind of generally, where I would be on all of these teams. And we're generally looking at buying Americas at this point. Obviously, Americas has their own game week 6. This is sort of starting the time where you really want to be bringing in Americas players to make sure you have enough for that final week. But yeah, just going through the teams and their matches, like Foot, I think if you've got Foot, you can absolutely keep. Foot might even be a buy. Right, they're 3-0. They play KC this week. Heretics aren't that tough of a game either these days. You could actually buy Foot. I'm not sure I would. Again, I probably prioritize Americas if necessary. But there are some pretty cheap Foot players if you want, who are pretty good. So Foot might be a buy, but probably, prioritize Americas. But if you need like a cheap controller, like Sociable's a pretty good option. Or like Yesterday is a cheap Sentinel. But definitely keeping Foot. Mates, if you've got mates, I would probably keep for the Team Heretics game and then sell. Liquid, similar sort of thing. You can keep against Navi, but you might be in a spot like me where I might sell Purbo just because my other players look better. Team Heretics, get rid. Should have got rid of ages ago. Navi, get rid. Jesus, if you still... There's a lot of people I've seen with Navi. Get rid. KC, I mean, what are you doing? Fnatic are a keep. Certainly this week, we'll see how BBL look against Vitality, I guess. Eternal Fire. Now, Eternal Fire are the other team. I think Foot and Eternal Fire are the only non-Americas teams that I think you can buy. And Eternal Fire, again, very cheap. 2 very winnable games, especially this week. You can definitely buy Eternal Fire if you want to. I think that's fine. Giants, probably a sell at this point. BBL, definitely a sell at this point. Vitality... The thing is, they got Pacific last week. If you think they're going to win this game, you can keep, but I wouldn't enjoy that. And then Pacific, what are you doing with Pacific if you got them? Get rid of them. Let's take a look at Pacific. And again, most of these are either going to be holds or sells. DRX, probably a hold for this week, and then sell before PaperX. PaperX is probably just a hold. Global is probably a sell at this point. Again, I've seen quite a few people with global players who probably need to get rid of them. Nongshim are a keep. Definite keep against Team Secret. Genji are probably a sell. Should have been probably a while ago. Team Secret, what are you doing? Full Sense. Now, Full Sense, I was saying, once they've played these 3 easy games, then sell before RRQ. Honestly, with how RRQ are looking, you can keep. For instance, I've got a Full Sense player. I'll probably get rid of him. But if you really, if you have Primi, you could keep him. It's not out of the question. T1, definite keep. I'm not going to say buy because they played Full Sense in the last week, and that's a pretty tough game. So I wouldn't buy them, but definitely keep. RRQ, probably a sell at this point for sure. DFM, it's probably a keep, as are Varel players. I mean, Zeta, why have you got Zeta players? But Varel, if you've still got Varel players, then I guess you're keeping the Varel players because that is their easiest 2 games, and they are pretty cheap. So you're probably keeping them. And in terms of Americas, obviously... There are some teams that you might want to sell, but there are a couple that you definitely will want to buy. MIBR are one of the ones that you will want to buy. They play Cloud9. That should be pretty easy. Lev, obviously, is going to be a very tough game, but then they play Envy. So 2 pretty good games. MIBR are definitely about a buy, as are Lev. Lev also with Envy this week. Then MIBR, tough, of course. Then Loud, though, right? So 2 out of 3 games, very good. So Lev also, I think, are a buy. Envy, no. Loud... No. G2, honestly, are a buy. I mean, as crazy as it is, G2, I know they're 0-2. They've only won 1 map, but they should win all 3 of those games. And I don't think they've looked that bad. I'm actually a bit more worried for NRG than I am G2, I think. I think G2 on the whole haven't looked horrific. So I would would still probably buy. I still think it's a fine buy. The question is with G2, like, who do you buy? And that I think is a tough answer because with Valen on Harbor, if they stick with that, he's not going to be fragging as much. Leaf, I think fragging will go down a little bit as well. Maybe honestly, Bebe is kind of the best option, but he's playing Vice a lot, which again isn't as good as Chamber. It's tough in terms of who to buy, but they are a decent buy. Cloud9 are an obvious no, and Cloud9 I think are a sell. I think I would sell Cloud9 this week. Crew. I wouldn't buy Crew or Furia this week. I would just wait a week. Like, after this week, you're buying Crew and Furia. You're not even thinking about it because they'll probably win their other games. But this week, I would hold off. I would give it a week, wait, see how that game goes, and then just buy whoever wins, essentially, and all looks better. Or both. 100 Thieves, I think, are a sell. Look at their games. 100 Thieves, I mean, they might be able to scrape one of these games, but they might not make playoffs. I mean, that's some tough games there. They're a sell. And I've got a 100 Thieves player, and I'm going to sell Vora. If you got the transfers to do it, I think they're absolutely a sell. Sen, I think, are not a buy, but not a sell, especially against EG. EG, I mean, just get rid of... I mean, EG didn't look terrible. Honestly, EG against Sen, they're probably a keep this week. But then, you don't want them long term. And NRG... I would probably wait to see how they look against the 100 Thieves. I just don't trust them. And 100 Thieves are, like, not bad enough. Like, if they're playing EG, I'd say probably buy them, but they're playing 100 Thieves. I would wait. If they win this game, then you can buy them next week against EG, but I would at least wait. And so with that, I have done some kind of different calculations and kind of gone through who exactly I want. And the way that I initially thought I wanted to go was to sell Purpo, sell Leviathan, sell Vora, right? All 7.5, probably the worst players on my team, and just go from there. However, what I wanted to do with that money was bring in a couple players who I think are pretty good. One of them being your boy Spike, because he's playing a lot of Neon on Lev. So he's playing for a good team. He's playing Duelist. I just think that's pretty good value overall, right? So that's definitely one that I was like, I want to bring him in. Another player... that I was looking at then was like, well, could I bring in like a foot player, a sociable or someone, like as one of the controllers to replace Leviathan? But then the problem is that left me with an amount of money that I was like, I don't really love. What it meant was I had to buy an initiator who costs like 8. And if I just show you like the initiators who cost like 8 or 8.5 even, like there just wasn't many good options. It's like, I would like to get Mazzino, but I couldn't afford him. And then going down the list, it's like, well, Asna, I don't want that. Jonah P, not really. Ethan, no. There just isn't a great option here, right? I'm back to Vora. I mean, Vora literally might be the best option. So, yeah, that didn't really make much sense. I mean, there is blows for Lev, but he's not a big fragger. He's not going to get a ton of points. He's not a massive fragger. He will get decent points probably because Lev will win their games, but, I'm looking for something a bit better. And so then it hit me. What if I do something crazy? And this is what I think I'm going to do, which is, what if I get rid of Jing? Now, Jing, I think he might be the highest scoring player. I haven't checked that, but he's certainly up there. I mean, 53 points in 3 weeks is crazy. It's absolutely crazy how much he's been popping off. So you might think, TMV, what are you doing? You can't get rid of Jing. You can't get rid of a player who's in this good a form. They're playing against Global. They should win that game. But what that will allow me to do is there's a lot of people with Jing. And I would bet that most of the people towards the top of IGL Jing. So if I go a bit different, I was thinking, what if instead I brought in a little player from MIBR called Zekken, whose coach just said putting him on smokes is trolling. He's going to be playing Duelist. He's got a 15 and 11 pointer in the bag. He plays C9 this week. He can be my IGL. He will fry them. Cheaper than Jing. And allows me to do some other good stuff too. And I will now show you that other good stuff. So, I need to get rid of Jing. I need to get rid of Leviathan, I think, more so than Purpo. I think I trust Team Liquid a little bit more against Navi. So I'm going to keep Purpo here. I'm going to get rid of Jing, Leviathan, and Vora. Now, Leviathan is going to go up to Zekken. Vora because I'm not getting rid of Ascenti here, is going to become my boy Spike, who's also playing Neon. That's an upgrade as well. And so that means I need to downgrade Jing, but there's a perfect answer here too, in terms of getting rid of Jing. Because if I go Jing, and I go all the way down to the bottom here, you have 2 Eternal Fire Duelists. And they're both pretty good. I mean, Fabian's got 33, Izzy's got 27, so they're both perfectly fine. But I'm going to go the cheaper of the 2 options. Bring in Fabian for Jing, playing 2 easy games. Get him in there, double Eternal Fire. He's not going to be my IGL, but that means I can go Leviathan all the way up to you. Still got 1.5 in the bank, which then lets me do Vora. And just to save me some time, I'll do this. Wear a Lev. Go Lev. Go get Spike. Transfer in Spike. And now, here you go. And look at that. We got Fabian and Echo against Pacific. Should be an easy win. You bring in Zekken against Cloud9. Easy win. He's going to be my IGL this week. And we bring in Spike for their game against whoever they're playing that they'll probably win. That's all. We're going to make Zekken my IGL. I know getting rid of Jing might be a little bit, it's risky. Jing might pop off. But I've still got 1 point for the future weeks as well to get an upgrade. And I like my team. I like the way it's looking. This is a good team. This is a team that I can get on board with. So, Zekken, Spike, Fabian in. Let's go Eternal Fire. Let's go Zekken.